Ooh, welcome back to Becoming Glitter, the podcast. I am your host, Richie White, and on this podcast, we talk about how we can eliminate all the things in your life that prevent you from becoming your better self. Why do we call this Becoming Glitter? Because I want you and as well as me to feel the way glitter looks. Sparkle, sparkle, razzle, dazzle every goddamn day, baby. And today we're going to be talking about on this podcast about self-forgiveness. Ooh, self-forgiveness. Absolutely. Self forgiveness is important because really the only way that you can truly move on in life is by forgiving yourself. Now we're going to be talking about forgiving others in another podcast, but let's focus on us. Let's focus on the main character. Okay. Self forgiveness is probably one of the hardest things that anyone can do for themselves because we are so hard on ourselves. We can make the slightest mistake that can affect our lives in any little way, and we will beat ourselves up for it. The reason why it's hard for us to forgive ourselves is because for everyone else, we really don't expect much. Well, some of us don't. But for us, we expect perfection. We strive for God dang it, for perfection. We are having a hard time with forgiving ourselves because we feel like we should be at the best in everything that we do, in every way that we behave, in every scenario. And then when we don't show up like that for ourselves, we tend to really just beat up on ourselves. But the really bad part about this is the fact that we are very easily able to forgive others for their wrongdoing. And sometimes people can hurt us or do things to us that could affect the trajectory of our lives. And we're easily able to forgive those people. But say, for instance, we do something like get in a simple car crash, not even that much damage. But we beating ourselves to death about this daggone car crash. Okay? We forget to pay a bill and we get a late fee. You beating yourself up on that. Or even down to the point of you knowingly choosing the wrong partner and they in some kind of way negatively affect your life. We beat ourselves up on that. But I'm here to tell you guys that forgiving yourself is super duper 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 important and imperative. For one, I personally deal with this myself. I constantly beat myself up thinking about the things I should have done, or the things I could have done, or the things I wish I never done. I've always talked about how I just missed out on a lot of opportunities because of fear. I talk about how, I say things to people and then I'd be like, I should have never said that. Because, not because what I said is not true, but it's just because the way I said it is really out of character of who I am and who I'm growing to be. But even me, like, I forgive myself for like mainly financial mistakes. I make a lot of financial mistakes and I beat myself up for it. To this day, I still make big financial mistakes and I'm working on it really hard. But I'd really just sit back sometimes and I'd be like, damn, if I didn't do that, I probably would have like $50,000 in my bank account right now. If I didn't, have this lust for Versace, I could have probably went on a couple of trips this year. you know, but I had to realize that I am who I am. And a part of loving yourself, which we talked about last episode, you have to forgive yourself. You have to be easy on yourself. You have to give yourself the same amount of grace that we give other people. You have to give yourself that kind of grace because if you don't, you're constantly going to just be in an era of putting yourself in a grave before you even die. Imagine, imagine a world or imagine a time, imagine a space where you're constantly just poking yourself and bleeding out. That's what it is when you don't forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself is doing surgery on the holes. Forgiving yourself is doing the work to making yourself whole again. And one thing I also noticed about people who forgive themselves about the mistakes and the things that they feel bad about, they can heal a lot easier. They can go and make the moves that they always wanted to make moves a lot easier. When you forgive yourself about, you know, like say for instance me, I really let myself go, especially over the pandemic. And I'm working on forgiving myself about that because I ruminate on where I could be if I didn't do that. But if I just say, look, you ain't there no more. You're here now. You made the mistake. It's okay. Be easy on yourself. It's a lot easier for me to, eat a salad and hit the gym. But when I'm still ruminating, when I'm still putting myself down, it's so much easier to go to McDonald's and eat a damn burger to make yourself feel better. So when you forgive yourself, you give yourself the permission to make better decisions for your life. I like that. I like that a lot. I really have to forgive myself on sorry, on constantly and consistently allowing people in my life that I knew wasn't good for me and know that they don't care about me or rock with me the way that I rock with them. But the part that I have to forgive myself is not keep allowing those people in. It's the reason why. And the reason why is because I was being desperate. I was being desperate to have people in my life. I was being desperate to have a friend. I was tired of not having anybody I can go out and go out to eat with and go out to have drinks with. So I would just accept any and everybody who wanting and willing to do that with me. Versus how I am now. I don't mess with hardly anybody. I really don't. I have a few people in my life that I talk to on a regular basis, and I like that, and I'm cool with that. Me being all up in people's faces and allowing people all up in my face now, I don't do that. I'm not desperate anymore. And I forgave myself for that. Those was learning experiences. I learned how to deal with people a little bit better. And I, and I'm reconstructing how I deal with people in the future so I can have happier and healthier relationships. So, you know what I did? I went ahead and I did so much research about self forgiveness. So, I have a few tips that hopefully it can help you with forgiving yourself because you're a badass bitch and you got to do the things that badass bitches do. All right, let's go. Let's get into it. Some good tips about how we can forgive ourselves. I have about 6 of them. So let's go. Acknowledge your mistake. The first step to forgiving yourself is acknowledging the mistake that you made. This means taking pers- I'm sorry. This means taking responsibility for your actions and admitting that you make the mistake. This can be difficult, but it's important first step in the process of self-forgiveness. I would have to say, sorry, my phone keep going off. I would have to say that this is just talking about self-accountability. So when you acknowledge the mistake, when you acknowledge the things that you did, or how you were involved in the mistake, that's you taking accountability for yourself and your actions. And the good thing about self accountability is it applies to every realm of your life, not just trying to forgive yourself for your mistakes. So when you are self accountable, you are showing that you actually care about the outcome of your life. Ooh, I like that too. I like that too. Where's my cell phone? Sorry, I want to turn off the ringer. The second step Or second tip, however, is practice self compassion. It's important to be kind and compassionate towards yourself. Don't beat yourself up over your mistake. Instead, trying to be understanding and empathetic towards yourself. Treat yourself the way you would treat a good friend who made a mistake. Just what I said earlier in the podcast, in the episode, is that we are so easily able to forgive others, but we don't do it for ourselves. So the same way that you would treat your friend, your mom, your dad, whoever, hurt you, treat yourself the same way. Soothe yourself the same way. Let yourself know that it's okay. Let yourself know that you're able to move forward. Let yourself know that, you know, I am human. I'm not perfect. Self compassion is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And it definitely is something that all of us should practice on a regular basis. Let's go into step number three. Tip number three, make amends if possible. If there's anything you can do to make amends for your mistake, do so. This means apologizing to someone you hurt or taking steps to make things right. Doing so can help you feel like you're making progress towards making things right. I agree with this. This is something that I personally have issues with. Um, Not that I have an issue with apologizing to people because I don't. But to me, I don't like having the conversations, and especially in my experiences in life, conversations like this, we either make up, say things are going to change, but things don't change. Or we have the conversation, nobody really says what they really feel, so it doesn't go anywhere. We have the conversation and it turns out into a bigger argument or a bigger problem than what we started was with. Or we have the conversation and everybody sweep it under the rug, but really it's still holding resentment. So for me, I'm just at a place right now where I just rather not. And I know that's hindering me in the long run, but I just rather not right now. I'm just not in that place where I feel like I can do that. But I definitely think it's very important. But also I think in this time of my life, I definitely have apologized for things that I've done in a negative way, or at least explained myself in a way where I hope people can understand. But this time around, I feel like I'm always the person to reach out. When is somebody going to reach out to me? Because it doesn't happen. So, but yeah, if you can make amends, go ahead and do it. Number four, focus on the present. Dwelling on the past, ruminating, and your mistake can keep you stuck in a negative mindset. Instead, focus on the present moment and what you can do now to move forward. Take small steps towards your goals and be proud of yourself for any progress that you make. Yes, 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 yes. Focusing on the present, focusing on the good is always a great step for any issue that you're having in your life. Dwelling on the past, ruminating, constantly thinking about things that angers you, ticks you off, make you feel bad, that will cause you to go in a spiral. I'm not gonna lie. I've been doing this all day about a particular situation in my life. It's irritating me. It's making me mad. It's making me really upset. But the thing is, I have to forgive myself for allowing this particular group of people to cause me to feel so negative about them. Because it's not their fault. They're being themselves. It's the way I perceive them that's just making me so angry. So, yeah. So, what I did to get out of it, I really just said, you know what? They are just being themselves. And that's all they know how to be. Who are you to judge them for that? Because all you want to do is just be yourself. If yourself and themselves don't mix, then it just don't mix. Then it just don't mix. And that's okay. So, yeah, focus on the present and figure out what you can do now on internally to make yourself feel better about the situation. Number 5, learn from your mistake. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn and grow. Try and see your mistake as a learning experience and think about what you can do differently in the future. This can help you feel like you're moving forward and making progress. Are you aware enough? Are you self aware enough to learn from your mistakes? Are you diving deep enough into your own life, into the actual being of who you are to learn from your mistakes? Because that's what it takes for you not to do the same things again. Like I was saying earlier about me and money. I'm just realizing my patterns with money and how I'm constantly overspending on stupid things. So yeah, now that I'm learning from my mistakes, my bank account is getting bigger every day because I'm able to, do what I need to do and put some money away and then put more money away for living expenses. But sometimes when we learn from our mistakes, it can seem like a get back. You know what I'm saying? Like if a group of people constantly hurting you or a friend is constantly hurting you and you remove yourself from them, that and you decide that from the way you in this mistake you learned that you and this person don't need to be around each other, or I'm not gonna give the opportunity and the space and give myself to these people. It's going sometimes it looks like a get back, but it's not. But the thing you have to do about it is sometimes you got to take some time to yourself, figure out who you are, figure out what you want, know what you deserve, vocalize it, and then you can move back forth and move back into the world in a gracious way, in the way that feels right for you. And then when certain instances and activities come your way, you know how to like dodge it, like Neo in the Matrix. You won't fall back. But really pay attention to yourself and pay attention to your environment and pay attention to your life. Really zone in on it. Break it down and figure out what can I do for this to never happen again? Or if it does happen again, how can I how can I solve the issue without creating more issues? Or how can I solve the issue in a different way? The last step is seek support, forgive yourself. Oh, sorry. Seek support. Forgiving yourself can be a difficult process, and it's okay. It's definitely important to just have some dope ass people around you, like to help you grow into the person that you want to become. So, you guys, this is the end of the podcast. Thank you for joining me for episode 3. Until next time, you guys. Yeah. Talk to you later. This is Becoming Glitter. I'm your host once again, Richie White, and yeah, forgive yourself. You deserve it. Bye.